Greetings, this is the Timeshare Traveler. Today is episode 149. Can't fit them all in there. My favorite places in the U.S. and what I liked about them. That's what I'm going to talk about. Favorite U.S. destinations and why. Again, this is not a complete tour guide. I'm not a tour guide. I just do the timeshares. But I just want to give a sense by looking all of these where you can go and have your timeshares. So it's still quite an extensive list. So I've been living in timeshares for 15 months. If those of you who follow the channel know that. But I have my Hawaii favorites, California favorites, which is where I'm based. So most of my travel is more in the West than the East Coast. I have the Western U.S. excluding California. Then I've got my Midwest favorites. And lastly, I have some East Coast favorites. Not very extensive, but it's some. But I'll just tell you about what I like and so forth. And before I do that, I'll tell you a little bit about my channel, and I'll be right back. Hang in there. Hi, this is Cliff, and I'm the Timeshare Traveler. Welcome to my channel. The purpose of my channel is to educate those who love traveling in timeshares. I've been an owner for 15 plus years at timeshare ownership. I have elite ownership with Marriott, Hilton, and Worldmark. I have published over 100 timeshare video reviews, and I've published over 95 timeshare tips. I can be found on Facebook at Timeshare Trav, at Twitter, Timeshare Trav, and on the web at www.timesharetraveler.com. I'm back. So most of you know that I've been living in timeshares for 15 months who follow me. Rented out my condo, 15 months. I have more booked, at least into August. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to settle. I'm trying to settle in Napa. I spent most time in the U.S., many parts. Drive across the country to the Midwest and back twice for 2 years. Not once before I did this sort of 15 plus months, and once since I did that. And I do stay some weekends with my kids. And the bottom line is there's a beauty for wherever you go in the United States, and I was able to appreciate that, and I just want to pass it on. This is just kind of an eclectic list of things. This is not, like I say, a special tour guide. What I've done though is for every area I've noted whether it's Hilton, if there's a Hilton property, a Marriott bound property, or a Wyndham/Worldmark property, and I have the key throughout. So depending on what you own, that should help you determine whether that's a good opportunity for you. All right, let's go into the areas now. Well, first it's starting with my Hawaii favorites. Well, there are no not favorites. I should start there. Most important, I think, is try all the islands. They are all a little bit different, and you too can be a Hawaii aficionado. Kauai, I love it for the tropical waterfalls. There's a lot of rain there and across all the island, more or less, because it's the smallest one. And all the properties are there: Hilton, Marriott, and Wyndham Worldmark. The Big Island for coffee, the volcano tours, and I like the lava rocks because, to me, the water coming up on the lava rocks is very meditative, and I'm not a big beach person per se. And the Big Island has all three, the major ones. Hilton, there's only one Marriott, I believe. Yeah, only one Marriott, and Wyndham/Worldmark. There's several. Next step is Molokai. It is the most remote but beautiful place, and they're actually, surprisingly enough, it's not fed by a lot of airplanes, so there's none of the major three brands that I mentioned are on the island. I love Maui for the beach town of Kihei. It's kind of like a Southern California but Hawaii style, and the resorts in Kalapali are very luxurious. And all the brands are represented there: Hilton, Marriott, and Wyndham Worldmark. And lastly, Oahu, if you're the one in Hawaii but you also want the city. There you go, and all three are located there. Well, Northern California, you've got Vino Bello, Windsor, and again, this is mostly Wyndham/Worldmark. And Southern California beaches, there you see all the big ones are there. In Oceanside, Carlsbad, Dana Point, Newport, pretty much up and down the coast. And some of that, I guess, Monterey and Pismo Beach are technically not Southern California, I don't think. But anyway, Hilton, Marriott, and Wyndham Worldmark are there. Desert, Palm Springs, you've got all big three. That's a nice, warm, almost like a Las Vegas without the gambling. Although there may be casinos from the Indian reservations. California mountains, which is amazing. I love the sound of the wind through the trees that you get when you're up in the mountains. It's just, I don't know what it is about the high altitude, but I really like that. And again, all the big three are there: Hilton, Marriott, and Wyndham Worldmark. And I mentioned Lake Tahoe, Big Bear, and Bear Lake, and Angels Camp. And then there's the California cities. I mentioned Anaheim. It really should be Los Angeles, but all three are there: the Hilton, Marriott, and Wyndham Worldmark. And moving right along, let's do the western U.S. excluding California. We've got the Utah Mountains, and that's at Park City is kind of the spot there. And again, all the big three timeshares are there. St. George only seems to have the Wyndham. Actually, it's a Worldmark. I think there's a Club Wyndham as well. Oregon Coast, heavily skewed. That's really where Worldmark got its start. So they kind of have that area, as well as the Washington Coast is primarily, from a timeshare perspective, that's mostly Worldmark. Moving still west, but way south, to the Phoenix Metro, Scottsdale, and Tucson, you have all the big three are back: Hilton, Marriott, and Wyndham Worldmark. Las Vegas, all three are present: Hilton, Marriott, and Wyndham Worldmark. And again, Arizona Highlands, Flagstaff, Sedona. There's Hilton there and Worldmark. Don't think Marriott's there. Hopefully, I didn't get that wrong. I don't remember them. Okay, now we'll talk about the Midwest, which are my favorites. And just for a little background, I was born and raised in the Midwest, in Ohio and Indiana. There actually is a timeshare by Hilton in Indiana. But Nashville, great music, amazing if you want to see bands up and coming. And that's primarily Worldmark. Missouri, you have the big three. Again, lakes, boating, and there's even, sort of like Vegas without the gambling there in Missouri. And you see all three: Hilton, Marriott, and Wyndham Worldmark. Galveston, Texas, I just stayed at a Hilton hotel with a kitchen on it, one of the home suites. Colorado, again, love Colorado, the wind and the trees up in the mountains. It's almost like listening to the ocean, because it's kind of it's not a constant wind. It kind of comes and goes, just like listening to waves crash. At least that's for me. That's Colorado. And again, all big three: Hilton, Marriott, and Wyndham Worldmark are there. New Mexico, Santa Fe is just a recent property ad for Hilton, and then there is Worldmark in Los Alamos and Santa Fe. There you have that. Now the final. On the East Coast favorites, again, I'm not as extensively traveled there. I live on the West Coast, but I have done some. Myrtle Beach, a big three are there: Hilton, Marriott, and Wyndham Worldmark. There's actually both the Worldmark and Wyndham. Miami Beach, Hilton, Marriott, and Wyndham. I think Marriott's a little bit away from Miami Beach, and so I think, but there's a Wyndham, I believe, right there. And then Orlando, of course, that's kind of the headquarters for many of the companies, so they're all there. There you have it. Again, this was meant not as I'm not a tour guide to tell you where's the best beach and stuff like that. There's plenty of people doing a much better job. I just want to give you a sense of all the options you have, depending on what you own, so that you can kind of think of the scope of what you can do with your timeshares. Hope you liked it. Give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day.